Welcome to the Hibbing Economic Development Authority regular meeting agenda. Today is September 18th, 2023. Attendance, we have everybody in attendance tonight. I would call the meeting to order. Additions, deletions, approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Member Hyduk, or
I'll
Mayor Hyduk, excuse me.
Second
Seconded,
that.
seconded by Member Kivala. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the minutes. Approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Hibbing Economic Development Authority for August 14th, 2023. Do we have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion
I'll
made.
second.
Motion made by Vice President Drainus, seconded by Mayor Hyduk. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next up is to approve the minutes of the Hibbing Economic Development Authority working session for August 14, 2023. We have a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Mayor Hyduk,
Support.
supported by Member Hoffman-Sockman. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Onto the consent agenda. Number 1, affirm the Economic Development Loan Fund of August 30th, 2023 in the amount of $926,065.25. Number 2, approve the disbursements for the month of September in the amount of $2,803.75. Number 3, set a special meeting of HEDA for Monday, October 2nd, 2023 at 5 p.m. in the Hibbing City Hall Council Chamber. Number 4, set the next regular meeting of HEDA for Monday, October 16th, 2023 at 5 p.m. in the Hibbing City Hall Council Chamber. Number 5, set the next HEDA working session for Monday, October 16th, 2023, following the regular meeting in the Hibbing City Hall Council Chamber. And number 6, Member Hoffman-Sockman and President Mike H. Brock have stepped forward to serve on the Budget and Finance Committee. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda for tonight?
So moved.
Motion made by Member Kivala,
Support.
supported by Vice President Drainus. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Presentations, none tonight. We can move right on to board reports. Betsy?
Good evening, President Mike H. Brock and members of the EDA. In front of you, I have the first item, a request to apply for a plat exemption for the northwest portion of parcel ID number 140-0270-0039 and pay the $260 fee to the Building and Housing Office for that. This particular parcel is the one that we have been negotiating for potential sale, and in order to sell one or both of the parcels, it makes the most sense for the EA to split that particular parcel section into separate parcels to potentially sell. So this gets you ready for that potential sale at some future date.
Anybody have any questions for
Yes, Madam President?
Member Hoffman-Sockman?
Yes, the $260 fee, will we recoup that then? Will HEDA recoup that fee?
As part of the sale proceeds, yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll make a motion to apply for plat exemption in the cost of $260.
Okay, we have a motion on the table by Mayor Hyduk to request to apply for the plat exemption for a fee of $260. Do we have a second to the motion?
Support.
Supported by Member Hoffman-Sockman. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. On to letter B.
Excellent. Okay, so the second item is authorization to purchase Portfolio, which is Lauren Portfolio Software. And the section that we would purchase at this time is for up to 100 loans. So we have done a little research into various loan portfolio software systems, And I've done some meeting with people who are using this particular one, including the IIII is using this particular loan portfolio software to manage their loans. Right now, the quote would be $10,000 for year one because that includes the input of all the data into the software, and then $6,000 for year two. If we increase into the next group of loans, like let's say we go up to 101 loans or 120 loans, that would just be an extra $600 a year. So it's reasonably priced to get us into the next level as well. Right now, I believe we're at 65 to
Yeah.
70 loans.
Yeah, I think it's 63.
Yep, okay. So we do have, cushion there right now anyways. And as loans fall off and we put new ones in, if we're still under the 100, that is the request in front of you then is to purchase that software. It will definitely automate our process down there and increase efficiencies in the finance department.
So the first year is for 10,000?
Betsy,
Yes.
one question. Is that $6,000 only for that year or each going?
Well, they give us a 2-year agreement,
Okay.
so we would then, go back and
Renegotiate.
negotiate, yep.
Okay.
One of the individuals that I interviewed that uses this software has used it for the last 20 years. So really does like it. They're a nonprofit EA, similar, a quasi-governmental organization.
And just to clarify, this is just to, just so the public is aware, this loan portfolio software is gonna make everybody's job a lot easier because we're doing everything manually now, correct?
Yes, yes. So if you wanted to put a motion, a second on the table, I'd gladly, Sheena and I will stand for any questions, further discussion as well.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion made by Member Hoffman Sockman.
I'll second.
We have a support by Mayor Hyduk. Is there any further discussion?
That was my only question, Sheena. I'm sure both of you had talked, it wouldn't be before us tonight, but Sheena, you're very comfortable with this program too.
Yeah, I think, like Betsy said, it's gonna make everything a lot more efficient for us and speed up a lot of the processing, especially since the quantity of loans we have now and look at other loan programs. I think we really can use something like that.
Thank you, Sheena, for clearing that up.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
what kind of time frame you have right now that you're using the monthly sheets? Do you have any idea how long it takes?
Well, I mean, so Cassie in my department, she did all of the ACH payments monthly. And just the fact she is currently going through and manually inputting the principal and interest split, which changes every time. I would say she probably takes at least 2 to 3 hours just to do the draft.
Okay, so that's one.
Yep. That doesn't count just the other pieces of it, people call and ask for loan payoffs and those kinds of things. We have to manually figure out the interest accrual every time, where the system would just tell us what that is based off of the amortization.
And then take into account, if the ACH doesn't go through, you have to go through and figure out which one of them it was, what the amount was, reach out to the individual, all those sorts of things. So there's a fair amount of facilitation that does go on, and it's, the biggest consideration obviously is as we do more of this, it will get more time consuming for Sheena's department.
Yeah, we've definitely grown in the loan area.
Yes.
So we do have a motion, we have a second.
Yes,
No
you
other for
did.
discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. On to C.
All right, excellent. So then, item number C in the back, in your packet, you have after the portfolio is the Civic Plus product statement of work. So I have been working, Sheena and I have been working with Deputy Administrator and City Clerk Candy Sepla on this quote and process. The process will allow us to have a central location to create the agendas for both the city council and EDA. Obviously, the city council will be, paying the rest of this bill. So we're just going to pay a portion of it for the amount of meetings that we have. Right now, Deputy Clerk or Deputy Administrator has asked for $1,500 as a start. while we see how much of the agenda software and the EDA does use. But I know for the last 4 to 5 months, we've struggled to get an agenda in front of you on a really timely basis with all of the documents in the correct order. And, you know, we've tried to move it in Teams, and then Deputy Administrator lost her access to her Teams in the meantime. I mean, it's just been an IT, you know, chasing the tail, trying to get all of these items into an agenda and out to you as promised on that Friday afternoon date. So this software allows Sheena, myself, and Ken all work in the exact same software packet and add our items separately. The agenda will then be rolled up and mailed out from there. Do know that there may be some of you who would prefer still a print copy of that, so we can definitely get feedback from you on anybody that wants the printed copy of the entire agenda packet. And then on the Mondays of our meeting, these agenda packets would still be printed because not everybody has access to a computer to review them right here at our EDA table. But this would be a step in the right direction to roll out a software that we will use citywide for agenda packets. So the request in front of you then is to authorize the contribution of $1,500 to Civic Clerk to manage the EDA agenda process. And it would come out of our special projects budget, which we do have plenty of funding in addition to, you know, the portal.
Okay, so this is something that's utilized by both the city council and the EDA board then?
Right, which is why we're contributing a portion of the amount, but not the entire amount.
Is this, well, I suppose we should have
should make a
a
motion.
discussion
Yeah.
first.
Yes, absolutely. Do we have a motion to accept this?
Motion.
Motion made by Member Schreiberger?
Yep.
Do we have a support? Support. Supported by Member Hoffman-Sockman. Do we have further discussion?
The question I have, building and housing, you know, we have other committees. Are they all going to be able to access the civic?
Yes, that's what Deputy Administrator Sepula's intent is,
Okay.
to roll it out for all of the various commissions and boards across the city that we, you know, administer and facilitate. And I think we'll make uploading to the website, because that is also within the same family of software, much easier as well. So as we go along, taking minutes and those sorts of things will get a little bit quicker.
Right, thank you.
Madam President?
Member Sockman?
Yes, I have a question here regarding the, an annual uplift is 5%. Is that included in the 5,035, or is that in addition to, I've never heard of an annual uplift.
That's interesting language.
And it starts year 2?
I would assume it's included in that 5,035.80. So then our portion would go down, right, of paying a portion of the 8,600 at 1,500, and our usage is the same, maybe, you know, so duly noted, Member Hoffman-Sockman, when we do the budget work for next year, and in advance of that, I will ask that question about the 5%, but then also the amount would come back to the EDA board to ratify what the contribution will be for going forward.
Perfect, thank you.
Madam Chair,
That's a good find.
Roger?
has the city council accepted this already?
No, this will be going for them on their Wednesday agenda, so you're approving it in advance of them ratifying. If they decide not to, we wouldn't participate either. So it is an excellent question, Member Kivela. Are you asking if the motion should be contributing pending city council approval?
Well, it's not an area I'm real strong in, let's put it that way. I wouldn't mind discussing it further at our open session, but we've already got the vote out there, so something I'd like. It's not a strong area for me, so.
Sure, absolutely. But Member Schreiberger, do you want to modify your motion to say no? Okay, all right, okay,
I think it'll be all right.
okay,
Yeah, pretty common.
okay.
Okay, so we do have a motion, we do have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval, or opposing, Roger Kivela. Okay, so we are all through with the board reports. Betsy, you,
We're through my board reports, now we're passing it over to Finance Director
okay.
Melner, yeah.
Sheena?
Madam Chair, members of the board, I printed off the loan balances as of today for your review. And I just have a few items that I would like to note. One of them is just that with the letter that we sent for the bottle cap for the 2 loans, the judgment letter that was signed says the payment is $800 per month, which she's been paying on the first of every month. But that is not the amount that was in the amortization schedule, so we've just been applying those payments accordingly to both of her loan balances, but it'll take a little bit longer to pay off, because the $800 is not the amount that was in the amortization schedule. So that's just an update you on that. Moxie did come in after the last loan payment and caught up on both of those. RMB did make 2 loan payments on 8/28, so they are paid through July. And then Herb Smart's Thrivent Financial, or Smart Thrivent, that one was returned, so I'm trying to get a hold of him to get up on that. And then the last comment I wanted to make on the loans was that Eagle Eye Properties is going to be paying off $20,000 tomorrow. Selman had emailed me to say that that would be the second payoff of the 5 townhouses. Other than that, the fund balance we only have is $917,481. Of that amount, we have almost $300,000 that's been approved but hasn't been drawn, so that leaves the fund balance at just over $600,000.
Available to lend.
Yep. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Kind of a housekeeping question. So is this going to be now part of our regular meeting rather than, because I think in the past we've talked about this at our working session, is that correct? Are we going to start doing it now during our regular meeting? The loan balances, I mean, it's just something, I don't remember it ever being at this part.
Right.
And I don't either, actually.
Yeah.
I guess it's up to the board and Madam President, if you prefer it in the regular meeting or if you'd like to talk about it in the workshop meeting.
One note is, in our fund guidelines, it talks about the fact of what we will do in the term of default and what default constitutes. So we to make sure that we're recording the various items in the public meeting when, folks are going into that state, so that we can go after the ways that we would recover a defaulted loan. So Sheena and I have been talking about this, that at least recording some of the, some of those items as part of the public agenda, so that we are making sure we're recording it appropriately. If it's only handled in working session, it's done differently. And what we would look for then at this stage is, if we're going to move something into default, we've talked about it at the last 3 public meetings, and so now we're going to move it into default, and this board would have to take action, that sort of a thing. It also puts it on for us to be able to, as we look ahead at the deferred loans, and when you have to accept the first month of the 6th year, that is going to be, done and moved on, that they've satisfied the loan, they would provide that opportunity to that. So it's one way to start moving in the direction of, that process.
Good, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
Sheena, I had one question. I see there is one here where Andrew, basically his project came in less, so they can return funds, even though if they've asked for X amount, they don't have to fulfill they can return or deny.
Yeah, he
That is a
didn't.
common practice. I've never seen that until now, so.
Yeah, he was approved up to the amount, but he said that the project came in under
Good.
what he had budgeted, and so he didn't have use for the other $9,000. So that got returned back to the revolving loan fund, and then basically once his interest-only period ends, then he'll be amortized off the amount due.
Very good, thank you.
And that is something that should be entered into the record, as part of those loan, this particular section of the agenda, so that it's, clear that we satisfied the loan and they can't come in 6 months or in 12 months later and, oh, I'd like that 9,000 now. No, the loan was satisfied. So.
Okay, if that's it for the loan dates, we can move forward. Number 3, Emmy Borland.
Madam President, members of the commission,
request here is to ratify a resolution to call for a public hearing. You earlier agreed to an application for a plat exemption with regard to parcel. This is the same parcel that we've been discussing negotiations about in closed session. So the president was kind of last week to sign a notice for public hearing so that I could get the timing of have a special meeting on October 2nd. We're trying to get all the ducks in a row to keep this moving along so that we can coordinate it to be done hopefully by around the end of October, or the council's second meeting in October. So this is simply a resolution ratifying the fact that the president signed a notice for a public hearing with regard to a sale, or possession of a sale on October 2nd at a special meeting.
Okay, and there's a motion?
A motion and a second for the resolution. Thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion for,
Madam President, I'll make a motion.
motion made by Member Hoffman-Sockleman,
Support.
supported by Vice President Duranus. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
And if that's it, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Member Kivela, seconded by Mayor Hyduk. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.